doesn't require having two devices to use one. Yeah,
That's.
I understand where you're coming from, but
Two-factor or whatever, two-factor something.
You call us and we give you a code.
Oh,
He has an answer for everything.
Now we have the phone.
but that's the problem. If I don't have my phone, how am I going to call you?
That's tough.
I got a call.
Got to resolve problem one before it can resolve problem two.
We don't have payphones anymore. We have the shells of payphones, but not the actual payphones anymore, if you notice.
Maybe we ought to bring that back.
There's still one in Manhattan or in Riley. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it's still there on the street.
The shell of one is still over there in a couple different places, but there's no actual phone.
We are live.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to the September 25th meeting of the Raleigh County Commission. Please stand and join in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Like public comment. Oh, you got it.
Spoke too soon.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Hanson, Riley County Councilor. Just asking if we could amend the agenda to move the executive session at 9:55 to my administrative's time at 9 o'clock.
15 minutes gonna be enough.
15 minutes will be enough.
Fantastic.
Go ahead and make a motion to amend the agenda to include the executive session at the 9 o'clock administrative work session time.
I would second that.
We moved and seconded to move the executive session to the 9 o'clock time frame. Favor.
Aye.
Still in public comment?
Yes. Yeah.
I may. Remind the commission and then anyone viewing that we will go through a phone system migration Friday night, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. So there will be intermittent disruption of phones during that process. We have been emailing all county staff regularly. We've had publications put out by Vivian, our PIO, to let folks know our immediate resolution will be to get the transfer station going. So we work on Saturday and to get EMS's lines up. So that will be done on Friday night. And then we will continue to focus on the rest of the county on Saturday. I'll remind everybody that that's taking place starting tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Pretty good on public comments for not having the public here.
Yeah.
Okay, Monday afternoon, I attended the September Intergovernmental Luncheon at Rock and K's. Guest speaker was Karen Hoos from Kansas State University. She discussed in depth the K-State enrollment management and recruitment efforts, followed up with some updates from all the entities that were in attendance as well. Very well attended meeting once again, and good to see what everybody's working on as we slide into the fall. Also on Monday, I spoke with Peter from Make My Move to get an update on the Home in the Heartland grant program. And as you are aware, we're finalists for that grant. State Treasury has made everyone aware that funding exceeded the $1.5 million that's been appropriated for the 2025 program year. They are asking for a review and possible resubmission with reduced funding amounts. However, we've been informed to keep ours the same as is, and it's going to be endorsed as such. So no timeline on when final allocations will be made for that, but we'll keep everybody posted. Tuesday morning, I spoke with Dr. Goldsmith, project manager of Stepping Up from the Council of State Government's Justice Center. Saw her presentation virtually last month during the mental health summit that was out in Hayes. Discussed it with Riley County Community Corrections Director Megan Lewis. She will be planning on presenting to us sometime in the future and is working with several community partners here locally. Pawnee Mental Health, Service Office, just to name a few. Several are wanting to re-engage. Apparently, they were in the process back in 2016, 2017. She thought this is before her time, but looking forward to seeing that presentation when it comes our way. It was some really good stuff. At least when I heard it virtually anyway. So Wednesday afternoon, myself and Jacob Hansen attended the Kansas Association of Counties business meeting within the Legislative Policy Committee conference out at the Gary County Health Department. Business meeting ran kind of long, but we're working on quite a bit at this point in time. We've got some new staff, so just kind of going through the motions there. Policy conference, I thought went very well, had some very good dialogue in the areas of tax and budget, government operation, land use and housing, and several other policy issues. We were able to get some specific language on RHIDs. It's got to be voted on later, but it's going to support the idea of being able to opt in to that instead of opting out. Probably need to define that language just a little bit, but need to get something passed in there. And it's very specific to our HIDs, which I think is critically important, particularly for 105 counties. Also, Wednesday afternoon, I came down to the CPE building and checked out the progress being made on Windows. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I can't believe we hadn't did that sooner. It's kind of weird seeing everything taped up and boxed off in the office, but totally get it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of work trying to get everything sealed up and
They'll have a lot of trimming.
yeah, I can see that's going to be a process, but BHS is doing that work, correct?
That is still big.
Oh, they're the ones doing
The trim is make of the patching plaster is BHS.
I was just gonna say, I know they know what they're doing. They've been working in old buildings for a long time, so it'll be okay. I gotta think we're almost done with the windows, aren't we?
Council.
Yeah, I knew that.
Get in some doors.
Okay. Yeah, I think you could actually run a meeting in there with no lights,
I think so.
with all the windows open. I was just stunned. I went back in the back executive office there and yeah, just stunned. In my office, I'm already thinking about windows being open in the spring and yeah, so exciting stuff. And yeah, with that, that's all I got. So
Okay. Well, Monday, I also attended the intergovernmental relation. John covered it pretty well. The one thing that I would say, they had Karen Goose is actually the vice provost for enrollment now. She said there's been a 37% increase in enrollment since reference have studied and emphasized increase in enrollment. And
that was freshman.
she said the freshman class, 25 is the highest one.
Yeah.
So also discussed were legislative items of interest and activities and announcements. Our next meeting is Monday, October 27th. Tuesday morning, I met with Lori Miller and Corey Meyer over at the CPE building to look at potential finishes for the chambers remodel. We picked out several carpet samples, wood finishes, and chair coverings, and we're going to be getting some more samples from subcontractor. So that was pretty cool. Lori was going to Salina for a meeting. We'll stop by their showroom, and I guess she did pick up some samples to show us. Later, I stopped in to see Jacob Hansen to get some updates on the progress of the easements for the Keats Lagoon project. Hopefully they keep coming in.
So far, so good. I don't know if any have come in the last couple of days, but man is back. We're going to be floating that. So
We're getting there. Then yesterday I worked on today's meeting agenda, documents, had a PT session, and then went to Bell Choir practice last night. That's it.
Right. No, as they mentioned Thursday, Monday noon, we had the intergovernmental luncheon about increasing enrollment. One surprising things I thought was what they said, they started taking the families on bus tours of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And of course, which they said has been a big, they're finding a lot of ideas. It seems, I think they're doing well. Later Monday, I had a meeting with two locals who wants the county to hire a county administrator, and they also have a group that said they want to help the county going forward. So that's all I've had.
For business commissioners?
Yeah.
First item we have is the supplemental agreement.
Crooked Creek.
Yes.
Yeah. Looks pretty straightforward to me. Okay, do I make a motion to approve the supplemental agreement with BG Consultants Incorporated for Crooked Creek Bridge?
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the supplemental agreement with BG Consultants for the Crooked Creek Bridge. On favor? Aye.
Glad you added the word creek to that, by the way.
Sure, please sign. I hope it's no crooked bridge.
Hopefully it won't be afterwards, that's the point.
Next, Riley County Employee Action Forms, Wesley Swan, Newmeyer, volunteer firefighter, fire district number 1. Gabriel Larson, Newmeyer, AEMT, EMS ambulance department.
Okay. I would make a motion to approve the requested employee action.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the employee action forms. All in favor? Aye.
All three, please sign. Commissioners, any changes to the minutes?
But I hit on the KAC things. A couple of them weren't, not because they weren't here, we ordered to. On the 8 years, it just listed, there's another one that wasn't on there.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. Ramsey, somebody from the courts. Who? Ramsey, somebody from the courts. I don't remember the last, I tried to listen to the meeting. I couldn't figure out couldn't understand my own speaking there.
I hate that.
And then the 32 years for the Danny Mathis.
Okay. Great. Okay, well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and approve the minutes as amended from the Monday, September 22nd meeting of the Rock Commission.
I will second that.
And moved and seconded to approve the amended minutes from the September 22nd meeting. All in favor? Aye.
Tentative minutes for the commissioners.
Pretty tentative.
Any items for next week's press conference? Yeah, next year, have an executive session, huh? Did that make words? Thank you.
Since we've got 15 minutes, you want to go take a look? I'll just use current example. I'm trying to, where did I put this at? So I'm trying to.
Save that.
Yeah, save it to the drive, whatever.
Okay,
So if I do that. Keep saying it's already exists.
okay, so it's trying to put it out. And you probably want to save it somewhere.
Probably to document.
Yes. So it's no bigger.
Please. Please before. It doesn't like. I mean, what you got?
Documents is fine for the most part. Sometimes I can't hold up at home.
And
So.
devote that and we can, the other way, so. if you follow this, the sun will triple. So we go out. That X really goes. Thank you.
Still a long explanation for this executive session.
Yeah.
It's option. And she will down, it will default into. Something. It's been totally the same. So. They'll push you, but you don't really use.
It's out here in my eyes.
So this tells me.
Allergies.
So it seems like you're late.
I got the drops.
I thought maybe an update or something.
First time.
Change the direction. Unless it's updated twice.
Yeah.
Person.
Yeah, so I figured that was an updated issue there. Needed to adjust. So if I go back there. it's-
That's right there. I've never had like, one of my brothers had it.
I knew it was a glitch of some sort.
Every now and again, moved to left.
Well, every time updates can change or something, it just is what it is. Okay.
First part of September, I had a sinus infection 2 years in a row. And they said, you guys
Used to have the
you've got fall allergies. No, you do. Then you started giving me something for it. But I got, like I say, a sinus infection 2 years in a row. In the third year, they went, there seems to be a pattern. They said, look, it's this week.
Happened to me. It's not special, crazy. I don't know, with all the allergies.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have a choice in this fire department, Cindy.
Oh, gee, it's not worse. And you're seeing all the big pumpers on the same years. They were some celebrating. They told us to show it. And it was no, we don't. And the, you know, Senator Presley, it's the city's decision, if not over, if they came to us saying needs. But it doesn't make sense for them to have them.
Well, I just feel like if the city doesn't want to take care of it anymore, then by default, it has to be a responsibility. We can't leave them
But the
without fire
county,
protection.
but the county already had fire protection, because
Right.
we already paid, so the county fires.
Right.
Keeps gotcha that, the city of Manhattan doesn't, but city of Raleigh still that, we paid that.
Right.
The fire department. Line item on that.
So really on that issue, I don't think anything needs to be done if it were not for the facilities, because we already got them.
Yeah, but just as far as
Facilities and
equipment on that property.
Robert, it's like facilities speak up. Yeah.
So how do we answer this?
It's not ours, since the city, I mean, the city council. He's had it, Jacob and their attorneys been working out and agreement.
They probably don't know.
Yes. Place in, so he had all three of them, and I know them drive. Learned what all use the same, that's one of those, you know, it's. And that's what we had before. Used to. Buck County, something like, he got
Morning, how are you?
6 or 8. He's saying, you know,
It's almost the weekend.
you know, she's not, you know, he doesn't.
Go ahead.
His birth. I don't know if you were, she was at the meeting. So, you know,
Hey, sorry, see, I don't know what the deal was in there. For about 10 days, it was just,
They called me.
yeah.
They didn't have days.
Actually, last night I went to sleep about, man, just a little bit before 10 and slept in all the way to 10 till 6 this morning. I was like, whoa.
And I was like,
Yeah.
It sits in the, it's clarified. No.
I mean, I'm limited, I never said it's fun. So usually. Yeah.
It's a, it's a creation resolution.
Never
This.
now, maybe when they cost me, you know,
This, but
not this morning.
legal. Yeah.
And he said, the traffic. I guess, they come to us and get along. For me, usually don't be done. And then I
Just did what he said.
That's my key. And my neighbor Bruce. That's the new list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably less.
It's only $30 a year or something.
Is that all? It's on the speed and down to these people. I don't know the prayers.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it just goes on.
It's. Young servant as it minimum.
It's not your credit.
I know.
That's.
For once, while trying to prepare.
Here.
She has a little.
Don't we all?
Man. But,
That's what we see.
yeah.
Yeah, my home checking.
Now you're mad just like I am. Your Cardinals got eliminated from the playoffs.
They were to be working.
And my Braves were eliminated the first week of the season. The Royals tried to hang on, but oh well. I've been getting used to sports and just saying maybe next year.
I just hoping they do stuff for a sophomore league department. They didn't do a whole lot of helping until you're right.
No, I didn't.
It's in Wichita.
Royal made a run at it, but boy, if they could have done something like that a little earlier.
Just, realistically, Royals didn't do too bad considering that 4 out of their 5 pitchers were all injured at some point in time of the year. They have absolutely nothing in the outfield in terms of production. Brought up their two best prospects and they didn't really do much yet. I think they brought them up a little too early, so, So, I don't know, I mean, I don't think they should play, they just need to figure it out. And all this, new stadium controversy probably isn't helping in the clubhouse either, so. Well, I don't think they want to evict them from the current stadium, they just don't want the current stadium. Yeah.
Couple nights.
Good.
Came through there last night, a couple of minutes before 7, and they had to sign those.
I heard Denver, the Broncos organization, their ownership's putting $3.5 billion away for a new stadium and facility. None of it's gonna be publicly financed either, but you know, that's the Walton family, so.
It's on.
They have.
Yeah, it is a mess.
It's stadium, it's an entertainment district. That seems to be the fad these days.
Yeah. It's on what you can say. We entertainment district by the state.
Believe me, it's being planned.
They're working on it. People restaurants.
Brewery, a hotel, all kinds of stuff. Just takes money.
That's all.
Foundation has big piles.
I don't know if they do for this one, though. Yeah. Something upwards of,
It's only 2 nights. They're gonna close in City Avenue.
oh,
Yeah, nighttime, 7.
Oh, nice.
7
Yeah, I
p.m.
did see
to
that.
7 p.m. to 6 a.m. on the 27th and 28th. I guess.
Oh, the weekend. Well,
Yeah,
that's
of
nice.
It's not
Over a football weekend, yeah.
over football weekend, yeah,
That's-
because that was like Sunday.
Hmm.
I didn't think about that. They have a detour, but I don't see the detour goes.
My detours, I don't go down there. I go over to class on a gimbal or something because if I do that
detour.
Anderson.
That's gonna be ongoing. for
Well,
years.
this thing, they close it at night for a while.
Saturday and Sunday, they're closing this time.
They're already doing construction on it, so even if they kept it open, it's still,
It's one.
yeah.
Yeah, but I went through there last night after golf practice and the signs were flashing. I'm like,
No, just,
but it wasn't.
I just go different directions.
yeah.
What gets me is that they've gone, they're moving farther up the hill, but they aren't back. What they've already torn out. I mean, they're done and they're moving up the hill, but
I'm hopeful that they just got the class or Kimball taken care of finally. I mean, that's only been 6 years. I get it. They have to do new parts and stuff. And I got that last little section here that I think they're going to open up before the end of the week in there at the corner of Settle Creek there. Yeah. They planned that out. Yeah.
it's,
Worked the last part of it around the football weekend. So did the best they could with it. Problem is there's places here in town where the elevations, you're just never going to be able to keep a road, up to par, really. I mean,
coming down those hills.
I mean, Ehlers, for instance, I mean, that's just impossible.
Well,
They can't even.
flat, I'm going up side Westwood.
Yeah.
It's gotten really bad.
I think at some point in time, they're going to have to consider widening that intersection from there all the way back out to Fort, or, yeah,
No, that's pretty congested.
yeah.
Get quiet in here. That thing sounds like an airplane taking off.
It's on its last leg. You know, John, you get up there and maybe put some WD-40 on.
John, I think if you got on that rail and reached up.
Get some go-go gadget arms. I know, that's why I used it.
I'll get you if it don't work out.
Sure.
And no worries, the live stream will only catch you falling.
Well, actually, you can like hang a rope off of that fan and kind of swing over them.
Okay, I'm gonna move it to county commissioners, including Chairman McKinley, Vice Chair Foki, and Commissioner Ford, with Jacob Hansen, County Counselor, Attorney for the Commission, and Corey Meyer, IT Director, recess into executive session to discuss matters relating to security measures that protect a public body or agency, public building or facility, or the information systems of a public body or agency, which would be jeopardized if discussed in an open meeting. An exception, is that the entire statute? Oh, wow. An exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act for the purpose of discussing information technology security measures of the county. The open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 9:15 a.m.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded for the county commission to recess into executive session for the reasons previously stated as a performance matter of non-elected personnel exception. That's not right. Matter of security, security measures exception to the Kansas Open Meeting Act. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
And we are live again.
Teams. Okay. I'll move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded for the Board of County Commissioners to come out of executive session. All in favor?
Aye. I'll also move that the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded that the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Way, sir. Good morning, folks. Melissa Jarbo has made application with Riley County Planning and Development requesting approval to replat lots 1 and 2 Western Shore Acres Subdivision Unit 4, along with a vacated portion of Lee Lane into a single lot. This may look familiar to you because you just did this in July. I'll explain. The 4-acre subject site is generally located approximately 1,820 feet east of Martin Avenue on the north side of Golden Shores Drive, all in Sherman Township. The subject property was originally platted as three lots, lots 26 and 27 of Block 10 Western Shore Acres subdivision, platted in October of 1962, and Lot 4 Golden Shores Edition, platted in May of 1976. 2 separate subdivisions back to back. Recently, the subject site was replatted into lots 1 and 2 Western Shore Acres subdivision number 4. At that time, previous lots 27 and 26 Block 10 Western Shore Acres subdivision were rezoned from SF3 single family residential to SF1 single family residential to match previous lot Golden Shore Lot 4 Golden Shores addition. Each lot to be served by a well and a septic lateral system and remain in compliance with the sanitary code. So all here that you see here in dark green is the SF1 single family residential, and what you see in the gold is the SF3 single family residential. 2 slightly different zoning districts with different restrictions and limitations. There are no variances, conditional uses, or special uses associated with the site. Riley County Fire District number 1 will continue to serve the site. The nearest county fire station is the University Park Fire Station, currently located at 7412 Redbud Drive, University Park. Site is a mix of hills and steep, heavily wooded ravines. Only the far northern portion of the existing Lot 1 is within the 1% annual chance floodplain, which lies in conjunction with the 1140 flowage easement of the Army Corps of Engineers. Okay, so this is the reason why this replat had essentially be redone. It was discovered that Leedy Lane was never officially constructed and accepted into the county road system, although the right-of-way was dedicated on the original plat of Western Shores Acres subdivision. As such, the township nor the county maintains that road. Its current service status at that section is as actually trail. It's not even local road. Consequently, the only public access to Lot 1 of Western Shore Acres subdivision Unit 4 is Leedy Lane. Due to the existing condition of Leedy Lane, the lot lacked safe and adequate access to a public road and thus was not in compliance with the subdivision regulations. Yes, this should have been followed. Staff discovered that the township would not provide improvements to the road based on the aforementioned reasons. And in order for the road to be accepted by the township for maintenance, the applicant would be responsible for the construction of over 1,000 linear feet of roadbed, including a cul-de-sac bulb, all built to county standard and bear all associated costs of that project. This simply was not financially feasible. Additionally, the applicant wished to build on Lot 1, and due to the condition of Leedy Lane, The applicant was advised by the township for the new home to be addressed off of Golden Shores Drive instead to allow emergency vehicles easier access, I should say, to get to her property. But that's cutting across existing lot 2. Unfortunately, the only way that could be achieved is if the home was on lot 2 to be addressed that way, fronting Golden Shores Drive. It's a bit complex, but as in summary, the applicant wishes to combine lots 1 and 2 of Western Shores Acres Unit 4 into a single lot and vacate the eastern half of the cul-de-sac that truncates Leedy Lane, redesigning the right-of-way turnaround for Leedy Lane in the process. By combining the 2 lots, the single lot will front Golden Shores Drive, allowing the proposed home to be addressed off of Golden Shores Drive, not Leedy Lane. Proposed driveway serving the lot will extend from Golden Shores Drive to the proposed home, situated entirely on the proposed lot without crossing onto public right-of-way to do so. So Leedy Lane in this particular case will be ignored. So a couple of pics of the property. This is the driveway cutting across the existing lot 2 from Golden Shores driveway. This area here is the cut across, and this is actual, what you see Leedy Lane right here. The right-of-way line is these flags here. South right-of-way line of Leedy Lane, and this is where the driveway is going to be going. It's going to have to be constructed to go wrap around to this location over here. Where you see that pole here, that's actually the center of the cul-de-sac. Whether or not that was acceptable by the county or not, but they just put it there. Let's we can get this to cooperate there. So what you see here in the flags, the flag and the stakes is what's the current cul-de-sac bowl. Following the last recording of the plat in the summer, she got a building permit and got started with this the house and discovered the problem. And we moved forward with it only to find that where they put the foundation for the home was too close to those stakes after all. So she would have, if what would have went through with it, would have required a variance in order just to continue with her home. And so with this, this takes the eastern half of that cul-de-sac and vacates it, so there's no need for the variance. That will revert to this lot over here. On September 8th, the Raleigh County Planning Board approved the final plat of Western Shore Acres Subdivision Unit 5, as it was found to meet the requirements of the Raleigh County Land Development Regulations and the Raleigh County Sanitary Code. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners acknowledge the approved final plat of Western Shore Acres Subdivision Unit 5, accepting any easements, rights of way, or licenses as shown to be dedicated on the final plat. Incidentally, going back, I want to make sure this is clear. There is this portion right here. There's a call out on the new plat. You'll be able to see this line doesn't, this point doesn't quite line up with this point here. If they need, how can I say this? If this line were to go vertical straight north and south, it would have lined up over here. And so by vacating the right of way, that reverts back to the lot. So it had to go out, it had to ping off of this end of this south eastern lot corner of lot 25 in order to avoid having to involve lot 25 into the replat. And so that kind of had to scoot this over a bit and vacate. So there is a bit of existing lot 1 that's being dedicated as part of that right of way, but only a smidgen. So, you know, so anyway, that's what I have right now. If you have any questions, any further questions about this crazy one, glad to field those for you.
Which, it's probably after the corner where the residence is going to be.
It's right here now.
Where that one.
Yeah, that's where it's at right now, trying to get started.
So
It will go all the way around like this, all the way, hug this line right along here and then go right to the house.
No.
It has to avoid Lady Lane. Her address is going to be off of Golden Shores, and that's why she wanted, because this is an actual entrance here. Lady Lane is up a condition right now, it's not passable with a normal vehicle. You could probably do it in a truck, maybe a Jeep, but it's not in very good condition. It was never built, never constructed, so it wasn't never approved, but and inspected and approved, so it doesn't get maintained. If you look at the aerial on GIS, you'll see it looks kind of like it's already there, like either a driveway or an alley. And you think, well, it just needed a little bit of improvement. Turns out, no, that was not the case.
So were they coming off when they work on that foundation? Were they coming off of Golden Shores?
Yes.
What you're saying, the trail
Yeah.
kind of with the drive.
Nothing's stopping them from actually coming out here, but there's the legal access to driveway standards. They will be met by putting that driveway in and constructed properly, and it will have to be inspected and passed upon the certificate of occupancy of this home. It's all done at the same time. So it is a bit unfortunate this has to be this way, but I understand why.
But this is gonna solve the problem.
Yes.
Going forward.
Yes.
That's the important part. The rest of it's not on us.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just wanted to say that Miss Jarbo has been quite a good sport about this whole thing.
Wow.
And we have a Mylar in the back for you to sign in. Right.
Okay, well, I want to make a motion to approve resolution 092525, acknowledging the approved final plat of Western Shores Acres subdivision, Unit 5, and accept any easements, right of way, or licenses that shown to be dedicated in the final plat.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 092525, acknowledging the approved final plat of Western Shore Acres subdivision Unit 5, and accepting the easements, rights of way, or licenses shown to be dedicated on the final plat. All in favor?
Aye.
Please sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. This can solve it. Kind of longest driveway.
Thank you. Oh, you know, very much with it. Okay, you know. Steve.
Yeah, nothing to pay.
Hey, sorry. I'm good. How are you? Good. Yeah. Thumbs up. No, it's good. Thumbs up.
This is a,
That's what it's for.
It grew a whole pot. It goes wasted most of the time, doesn't it?
No, it's usually half on the shot. They need projects on those things. To imagine. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. One thing, you work the mouse off there, and look at Danny's.
it's actually okay. It kind of pins it there.
Yeah, what we do with these.
There's just certainly.
Oh, we got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Last week, another.
We had like 3 or 4 in here, which is one of the. Brandon, put in your office. It's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
Good morning. Thanks for the time to talk to you about a potential project this morning. Josh Brewer, Habitat for Humanity of the Northern Flint Hills. In our previous RHID discussions, which we've given public comment on, one of the things that I've heard consistently from the county is that you want to be engaged. early, if not first, on any project that potentially could use an RHID. What I want to talk about this morning is a potential project that speaks to a larger vision we have to re-engage in the Manhattan community and to make one of the largest investments in housing here, permanently affordable housing since Prairie Glen, which has been a long time. Last time we built a new home in Manhattan was 2017. That was the last time new construction was delivered under $200,000 in the Manhattan city limits. So it is imperative if the city of Manhattan wants to see affordable housing come back, it is most likely going to be us that is doing the delivery. We became aware of a 5-acre, close to 5-acre plot of land in Northview about 3 years ago. And right between Spain and Casement, that property would have required a rezoning to have the type of density that's demonstrated on this place card. And so we went ahead and upzoned that property for the property owner to make it eligible. Obviously, if it couldn't get the rezoning, this thing was kind of dead in the water. So we went through that, met with the neighbors, got it through planning board. And since then, we've really been working with the different public bodies to develop the sources that would be necessary for this project to pencil out. One of those sources is, of course, an RHID. I think that is really, what we're hoping to get a little bit of feedback on today is the alignment of this project with the current RHID policy. So the two pieces that I think are important for us to get some feedback on RHID. The first is the payback period, and then second is the definition of affordability. On the payback period, it says that the county would interpret an adverse effect if payback period is greater than 10 years. So when we break down this project, there's 3 scenarios that we ran. We call them tortoise, hare, and super hare. And tortoise approach is to build 8 townhomes and 8 cottages. The hare approach is 22 townhomes and 8 cottages. And then the super hare approach is the full build out maximum density on this property, which is 38 townhomes and 16 cottages. Fully built out, and we're still, we are still in the early stages of this project, but fully built out, you are looking at a project. So 38 and 16, you are looking at a project that's roughly $16 million. So obviously a very significant investment in housing in the community. With that full build out, we would see a new construction valuation right under 12 million, and the property tax increase would pay back an RHID for site acquisition and infrastructure build out in a little less than 7 years. So the way I interpret the county policy right now, if you want to see a payback in 10 years, we would have 3 years to build out the entire property to get this paid back in time for the bond. Obviously, that becomes something that is well beyond our capacity. That requires bringing in commercial general contractors and subs. And so you are going to see the cost of delivery, increase pretty significantly. The second scenario, the hare scenario that were the 22 townhomes and 8 cottages, that has a payback period of 12 years. And then the tortoise approach of 8 townhomes and 8 cottages is a payback period of just over 25 years. So that's really the maximum of the state's RHID policy. And so as we look at this size of a project, I just want to get some feedback on that.
is it the county's position that, you know, absolutely this needs to come in under 10 years? And am I interpreting that correctly, that we would then need to deliver the whole project site in 3 years to get that RHID payback? And if not, how else could we think about this? With that, I will, stand for feedback on this or answer any
What are the
questions.
values, what are the prices on these homes then?
So right now, we are showing the prices of these homes, townhomes. In this pro forma, we're showing townhomes selling for 240 and cottages selling for 172. Now, that's the cost of delivery. So for example, if Habitat were to write a mortgage and a second mortgage on that, we would need to come up with that and the subsidy payment to make that affordable to the end user. So as scary as this pro forma looks, we would have a lot more work to do once it gets vertical. But for this right now, that's the prices we're showing it at.
What are the cottages? Is that a square feet or what's the difference between that and the townhomes?
So right now, the cottages are listed at 860 square foot. Those are 2-bed, 2-baths. So that's what we're testing in Ogden right now. That should be a deeply affordable unit. The townhomes are 1,200 square foot townhomes. Now, we've also tested a couple other designs in Ogden of 3-bed, 2-baths. It's likely, depending on how what the density allowed, we would probably have a mix of 2 and 3 bedrooms in this once we get there. But what we've asked for this, exercise is just what is the maximum density we can get on the site? What's the most number of doors we can get on a site? And we settled that a mix of the townhomes and the cottages would do it.
Is this one the top of the super hair, that with this, your piece here is?
Yes, super hair would be, hey,
This one is, I mean, that's what this.
if we built out the whole thing, and that would be the payback period.
And this is just the townhomes and the cottages. I know that you talked about having some green space, park space, maybe some other entities in there.
Yeah, right now, with this site plan, there is a requirement to put in a hammerhead for fire. I think that will necessitate that this be non-residential use. We would likely use this as a staging area for construction, and then as we exit, hopefully we could find a commercial use there, maybe a daycare or a small corner park or something like that.
I remember you discussing that originally when you
Or a
were
park.
hand drawing plans at that time.
Yeah, and again, this is very, very early. How could we get the most number of doors on what has not been a viable site today? Because it's long and it's skinny, and so it's gonna need a different type of layout than your traditional equipment layouts that you're seeing kind of right here. But this lot kind of got stuck in between the build out, so it just kind of got left behind.
What's the topography like there? Is it pretty flat?
It's flat, but it has drainage issues.
Yeah.
And so that's something we heard from the neighbors loudly, is that this site has drainage issues. So we are factoring in that there would be significant site work. I know that the neighbors are also very concerned about stormwater and traffic patterns on Casement. And so if we did get this project across the line, we would be advocating for improvements to stormwater and some traffic controls along here.
We also have an elementary school and a school crossing within 2 blocks there too, which that's not one of our better ones. So that's something we have, because obviously with this, you're going to bring in the idea of family. So family's going to come to kids. So that's something that's got to be looked at too.
Yeah, and we see the proximity to the school as being a really, really strong asset for this. You've got a school right there and you've got a park right there. I mean, it's like, this is a great location. actually getting that density in there, it's not it has not been a profitable venture to date. So that's where, we look at this and say, this might be a good fit for our approach to development. Kind of what we've been doing in Ogden at a bigger scale, obviously.
And you're saying about the 10-year pay, but the payback for each, or my understanding, payback is for each unit as it's done, right? You're saying you have to have the whole thing built out to pay off in 7, but as soon as one's built, it starts the payback on that one. Right, as soon as it's occupied, I guess, it's when they start paying back.
And so
Even if it takes, so many years, each one is paying back in 7 years. And that's, to me, that's the 10-year, within that 10-year payback. It's from when they open, or when the house is occupied. That's my question. It's 7 years, 10 years. I mean, it doesn't have the payoff isn't going to do the whole thing, or my understanding of how that's going to work. Is that?
Yeah.
Actually, once it hits the pack, which will be once construction is completed.
Okay.
When the payback starts.
Right. For each individual one. So there were, even if there's some still under construction, these will start paying back. They're saying 7-year payout on each building, basically, I think.
yeah, and the way that we're trying to make sure we align with that policy is, if we were to request an RHID for infrastructure, the estimate we got on this full infrastructure was about $1 million, which is more expensive than the last time we looked at it. So I'm going to anticipate the cost will continue to go up on that. And then the site acquisition cost would be about $400,000. And so we would need the improvement in the property taxes to pay off a $1.4 million bond. So that's kind of where we are starting our math is, how do we get there with enough real estate value that is affordable? And if the market, if we were only able to, and I would look at the worst case scenario being, well, say you get in there and you build out 8 and 8 at SOB, that is not going to pay back that 1.4 million for 25 years. So, and I do want to, that's kind of our worst case scenario there, is that you can develop the sources just to get that online. Because for us, obviously, we would like to see these be owner occupied. And so we're going to need to find buyers.
But you're saying so the 8 is just that small, is it just that piece in the middle?
Right.
But you're saying the infrastructure, because you'll do all the roads and sewers for the whole section.
Yeah.
Under that, even on the 8, it's doing the utilities for the whole piece. Okay.
Yeah. So step one for us would be to, we need to acquire and put the whole community land trust so that it's protected. Step 2 would be to get it shovel ready. And then we start doing the vertical build. And so we would like to get the entire site shovel ready. And then, if worst case scenario that we're not the one to do the construction and delivery, we can put an RFP out and find a general contractor or a code developer who would make sure the rest of the real estate comes. That's my understanding from previous RHID discussions. Is most important thing is the county gets its property taxes back online as soon as possible. And I appreciate that this, the county is unique, is most exposed to those property taxes. So we definitely hear your concerns on that.
But this would also be under that community land trust, which means the restricted increase in values or how that works. That's exactly that.
Yeah, the
That's the one
restricted.
to put some restrictions on. We can't sell one for 172 and someone turns around and sells it the next day for 200.
Right. There would be resale restrictions and it would be,
It's kind of
permanently.
a shared value increase
Mhm.
So this is a community land trust, basically, it's not,
and an RHI.
and an art.
The RHID would be there to get the infrastructure in place so that we can, and then, yeah, that subsidy would be protected by the community land trust. And so the owners of these homes, they would own the home, but they would not own the land. They would own the real estate of the structure, and then they would have their leasehold interest, but the land would stay community owned.
Is that making it easier or more difficult to get people into these houses not owning the land? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so far it's not been a problem, and I talked to our peer over in Lawrence. Their CLT's been in effect for a lot longer, and she says, we always hear people worry about marketability. She's like, I've not seen it because the price.
Yeah, okay.
It's like,
Okay.
and the way Sam, our first homeowner, the way he put it, he said, yeah, I get it that my upside's not as much, but I'm also getting in a lot.
Getting started.
And he's like, I'm not buying a house any other way. And worst case scenario, I get my equity back out of it. And then I go speculate on some real estate, but this is not that.
Well, the interesting thing here, the unique thing in Riley County is roughly 42% of our real estate or land's already off the property tax roll anyway.
Right.
So it already inflates the price. So this equation isn't going to get any easier moving forward, obviously. And so being able to kind of lock that in, it's the only way you're going to keep anything affordable, if you can do that at all, quite honestly. That's the way I see it. So
Appreciate that. Yeah, and in full disclosure, the math on this project is not there yet. We need additional sources. Obviously, private fundraising is a piece of it, but there's still a pretty big gap. And I think the way we've approached this is we kind of keep going until we find the no. And originally it was like, is zoning the reason why this isn't going to work? Okay, it got rezoned. Is the site conditions? We think the site conditions can be brought up to standard. Flood hazard risk is another thing that comes up.
well, the whole area down there is basically flood prone.
Over here especially, it's out of that flood hazard area, it's at 1%.
Okay.
That's what I was looking at.
We would,
Pulling up on here to see.
If I remember right, in 93, that area didn't flood. It was still further back south and east there.
this did not, and we would advocate for some stormwater improvements, especially along Casement. Because the neighbors, especially those on Hall's Landing, they do have concerns about stormwater. And so I think that, we would obviously love to see a larger project happen in Manhattan, among other places. This is the only site that we have seen that has a shot at working, and coming in under those affordability targets for us. If we were to bring this back as an RHID request with a phased approach, how would you interpret that?
Elaborate on a phased approach, please.
Yeah, so if we were to come back and say, hey, we're going to do the infrastructure we're going to do the infrastructure all in one shot. We're going to get everything shovel ready. And then we're going to build the cottages. We're going to get those sold. And then we're going to put out an RFP for a townhome builder, or the other way. We're going to start by putting out an RFP for a townhome builder, and we're going to get that real estate on the market. And then we're going to use the proceeds and build some cottages. How would you interpret that? Like, how would you analyze that from an RHID perspective?
If we're fitting within the 10-year scope, then the impact to us is, man, I got to look at the bigger picture, the bigger umbrella. I recognize that affordable housing is an issue, and I don't kick that to the curb, but It's the other long-term impacts of that. And when we're kicking this out 15, 20, 25 years, it just, the impact's too great. So I think that's why we settled on a kind of a 10-year period. So, and I mean, even if, maybe it turns into 11 years or something total because of, variables that happen along the way that we can't control, that might be one thing, but the intent is to lessen the impact, but try to do as much as we possibly can. That's my perspective, but it makes sense to do obviously the infrastructure first and to do all of the infrastructure for that and not do it for the part that you're going to build and then, do it in thirds or whatever. It makes sense to do it all at once with the intent of finishing the entire thing out over the course of time. So probably your idea there is probably the right approach.
Okay.
If you do all the infrastructure all at once, then, can you, pay the taxes on that without building it out? I mean, that just, I don't know if I'm
Could we pay the taxes on the land?
sure some 10 years for everything. Because basically the infrastructure is what is the most expensive thing you tax. For the taxes. I don't know if that's framing that correctly, but I'm just wondering how you're going to be able to afford to put in all the infrastructure without having the whole thing built, and paying that way.
For sure. And I think that the different scenarios that we ran, it's like, if we want to get under 10 years, you really got it. If you're going to put in all the infrastructure, you really got to build all the houses.
Yeah.
And that's, the faster you go, the more expensive it gets. Because it's like, we can't budge on our quality standards. Good, fast, cheap. It's like, I don't think cheap's going to happen. It's just more, it's like, the faster you go, the more expensive it gets. And we don't have those numbers exactly, but that's what's been conveyed to us is pretty much the faster you want to go, the more labor you're going to have to bring in from outside markets. That gets more expensive. If you can go slower with only local, that's going to be more affordable. You're not paying for hotels, in a just basic way.
We should have a majority of local though anyway, right?
What they try to do. That was at 54.
That's a lot of houses.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we have not seen a development of that size since the Lynx.
Yeah, that's all outsourced.
Yeah, so there's some real feasibility questions down the line. And thankfully, we know a lot of commercial generals and they're happy to look at this and give us feedback from their side too. But for me, I'm like, we're not going to waste their time if this thing doesn't have a shot at penciling out. And so if I'm understanding kind of from y'all's perspective, it's like that 10-year mark is really what we need to get under for the real estate to pay back the bond. Good.
Because I don't, like I say, that just now looking at it. I get, but one, the storm water would have to be done the whole thing the first time, because that's right. But if you're talking about just doing parts of it, and I don't know which way the sewers are going to be, I guess I'll tie it, which way they're tied. And didn't know if you could wait and do some of the infrastructure until you get the first one done and then it's more expensive to do it a piece at a time. But in the long run, is it, if you don't have, you got some built and being paid back, and then you go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on how the sewer and all that laid out, whether it worked that way or not.
And we did look at that, just from phasing, it's like, can we make this phase one? But we then come in with this being phase two, with this being phase three. That definitely feels a lot more comfortable for me when we're talking about vertical. But the infrastructure is the piece that. You really, you're not gonna be able to pay back the bond with just this. I mean, I guess I could run a scenario on that, said. Worst case scenario, you get here to stop. How long it really wants to pay back. But to confidently model out a 10-year payback. Really gotta have to be higher. Help out there.
Yeah, to keep those down at the costs around stable, 240 and 172, that's gonna be a tough one too, if you have to do some things.
It is. And I know we talk a lot about supply, but do you have enough people who are financially prepared to purchase homes? I mean, do we have the ready buyers? Household financial stress is not going down. So the last thing we want is to be stuck holding properties. Okay. Well, this is helpful for us just to clarify, that is how the county thinks about it. Like I said, we wanted to start the conversation with you. And certainly happy to come back and provide updates on where we are throughout the process.
Dude.
Last thing, I don't just want to surprise you, 30 days out. So, all righty, well, thank you.
Anything? I don't have anything. So, yeah. Anybody remember the last time we played UCF on a Saturday morning in September?
What was it?
It was the morning of that great storm that came through here.
Oh, really? That, the shelf?
Yeah.
Sounded like a thing across the.
Yep.
Sounded ridiculous.
And that was in late September too. That was also a game we struggled in the first half pretty mightily before late third quarter, fourth quarter, finally pulling that out. I think we were favorites in that game like we are here too. But, a lot of similarities. It was a warm, humid day.
What was the score on that?
I think it was 17-13 or something. It was a low scoring game. Yeah. It got us at 6.5. I don't know.
Yeah, impressive offensive quarterback.
It was.
I was in the press box with them watching this morning.
Yeah.
Nope.
It was even, they even had a purple tint to it. It was
Yeah.
eerie.
Terrible.
And it got really warm in the afternoon.
They were in the house.
Everybody had
Yes.
to go in the stadium or we were out.
That was still, it was there. That's still when it was still the original Big 12 with Missouri and A&M and Oklahoma and
There's some.
well, I can't remember all the schools we don't have now, but
Some neat pictures necessarily part of that weekend of oh, UCF should be in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do kind of fit for the most part, but yeah, it's scary. So, yeah, 6.5. I don't think we meet that threshold. So I'm gonna take the Cats, though. I'm gonna take it 26-24.
Right?
I got 24-14.
Cats. Cats.
Yes, yeah.
Catherine.
Like this.
27. One.
Jacob. Go 2010. Cats. 21-28. UCF.
Nope.
Got a lot to prove.
Haven't seen it yet.
Tell you, I watched UCF play last week. Scott Frost has got those guys rolling in the right direction. There's not a pushover, and maybe other than Oklahoma State, but we got to play them on the road. There's really not a pushover in the Big 12.
It might be an extra reason to play hard.
Yeah, that's true. That's.
Well, Well, good news is it'll be out of the way early on Saturday and I can go back to other things if all else fits.
That's great.
Yeah.
Stay up that way.
How long have you been?
I don't know. We're learning this one, this one.
San Francisco. I'm very banged up San Francisco too, so hopefully. 3-1 would be a great way to start a season.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Me either. I would make a motion to recess the September 25th meeting of the Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Moved and seconded to turn the September 25th meeting, of Rutherford County Commission, all in favor?